Good night. My name is Juan Jose Guerrero and I am going to talk about climate change. I'm sorry, this doesn't like this. Okay. So, first of all, what is climate change? We have to distinguish between weather and climate change. Weather is the specific type of temperature or weather conditions in a specific place. But climate change is the change in that specific weather in that specific place. The change can either be in the amount of rain, ice, snow, or the hotter the season, the colder the season. That is what climate change can mean in some sort of way. So climate change is mainly caused because of global warming, and at the same time global warming is caused because of the human productions and greenhouse gases and its emissions, of course. So, how does climate change affect our planet? First of all, we have to know that climate change affects the planet in its weather, in its environment, in its biomes, in its living species, in its flora and fauna, and many other things. But first of all, the weather or the planet, the planet's weather. The weather may change, the seasons may last longer, may last smaller time, and the like for example the winter might be a lot colder and summer might be a lot hotter. These are some of the effects that climate change has on the planet. Another way that climate change affects our planet is its sea levels, its sea ice. Sea ice, sea ice, I don't know how to say it. It's basically the ice melts. The sea ice melts because of the weather, because it's hotter, because the temperature is rising, and this causes a sea level rise. And at the same time, its effect on the planet is that when the sea level rises, the coastal cities, the living species, the weather, and many other natural phenomena and natural disasters may take place. So it also affects the planet because of how prepared our species, including plants, humans, animals, how capable are those species of surviving that climate change. For example, in the animals and in the plants, many animals last a lot less than they would last if the climate was normal in some sort of way. The plants, for example, their life expectancy, to put it in some way, is lower with the constant climate change because their system, their organization, their internal organization is basically created and evolves in a specific way to a specific environment. But when that specific environment suddenly changes, the system, the organism is not ready to fight that, and that might lead to basically its extermination, to put it in some way. How does it affect the people living in it, in Earth, of course? Climate change affects the people living in Earth, first of all, because of the environment. Okay, so people and animals and plants and every living thing is not completely weather resistant. They are not invincible, like to name it in some way. So when the climate changes, suddenly many people are not prepared, and there can be some side effects, like for example the lose the losing of their homes, the catastrophes, and that many people aren't ready to face that because they basically don't know and are not informed about the actual status of the Earth's climate change and its effects. It can affect people in their skin, their life expectancy, the disease probability inside of the people's body. It can also affect them because climate change can lead to natural disasters, to phenomena. So it can lead to mass immigrations, it can lead to life losses, and many other effects. So, conclusions. Basically, our conclusion is that, first of all, climate change is a real thing. It's a real thing that it's happening and that has an effect, that has a really big effect, and that has to be controlled by us humans and by big is it working? Wait a second. I think it is working. I'm really sorry for this, but the computer turned off and this is what happens. So yeah, basically we can conclude by saying that climate change is a real thing and a real thing that has to be controlled. It has to be controlled by us humans and by organizations that have the power to do something, to do a change, okay? Climate change really affects the planet and the living species, the living beings, the living things inside of it. So yeah, that's it, and here's the bibliography here. Thanks and have a good night.